Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to Akira Visuals. So today I'm gonna show you how to do a quick face swap using Marvel Rival character in Photoshop. So if you ever wanted to throw out your own face on any of the characters in Marvel Rivals, then this video is for you. We'll go over how to cut out face cleanly, line things up so it actually looks right, and blend everything so it doesn't look like a bad meme, unless you want the same vibe you're going for. It's not too complicated and I'll keep it simple and clean step by step. Alright, let's jump into Photoshop and get started. One thing I want to say before I start the tutorial is that there is no right way to do the face swap in Photoshop unless you know what you're doing. What I mean is you start with any step and still end up with a good swap unless you mess up with the principles. So for this video I already have the Moon Knight, our hero Johnny, and the background ready. If we need anything else, we'll fetch it from the internet, and don't worry, the files I used will be provided to you in my Discord server in case you want to replicate and practice. And the Photoshop file will be on my Payhip store. You can check it out later after this video ends. Okay, we have our canvas ready with the resources. We scale up the map and the characters to our needs. I'll try to match the scale of both the characters so that I'll have a clear look at the matching the swap. Let's begin with cutting the head of Johnny. We'll use quick selection tool and make sure your layer is selected and begin to make a selection. Then I use lasso tool to make the selection more precise. Hold down shift while using lasso tool to edit the selection. After you are done with the selection, click on the mask option to create the mask. Now that our head mask is done, the next step is to resize the head according to the body character. Make sure you spend little extra time to resize and place it correctly, or else your thumbnail might look awful. I hit Ctrl T and then hold Alt and Shift to keep the head in uniform scale and take good amount of time to place the head neatly. I also lower down the opacity near to 50% to make sure that I'm matching the face parts such as eyes, nose and lips as accurate as possible. After I do the rough alignment of head with the body, I head to erase off unnecessary parts of the head. I click on the mask path of the layer. Notice that the mask path is black, so I take brush tool and select black color to erase off the parts. White color on other hand is used to bring back the erased parts from the selection, and I use when I do mistakes in erasing. Okay, I think I have made a pretty good alignment. So I'll go to the Moon Knight layer, I'll select polygon lasso tool and cut off his head so that head won't trouble me by showing its part behind the face swap. When I'm done with the selection of head, again I'll click on the mask option which will mask the body and not the head. So to invert the selection, I'll click Ctrl I so that head will be masked off. Now I would like to zoom in my character a bit. When I zoom in the character, I notice that the head seems pretty small when compared to the body. This is most common mistake which often leads to a bad thumbnail. I recommend to mask out the head layer of the body when doing a face swap like I did before. But here, since I'm zooming in the head, I think the face swap head will hide the other head, so I'll be fine here. I'll also make some adjustment to my needs, and I'm just repainting and erasing off parts like I said before. I think my face swap looks better, and now I'll finalize the alignment. To keep my work organized, I'll create a group and rename it just for my main subject, and we'll be doing the other compositing work in this group. Now I'll take the curves and clip it to the subject. I'll lower the curve to bring the shades down and hit Ctrl I to invert it. Now the shades are inverted, so I'll take the brush tool, select white palette, and I'll just paint the areas where shadow might be present due to lighting effect. Normally those areas are around forehead, neck, near to the cloth area, eye bags, mustache and nose. You can lower down the opacity of the shade according to your needs. I think the shades are done, and as you can see it really makes the subject stand out. Now to highlight the face I'll again take curves, but this time I'll higher the curve which will increase the highlights, and then I'll hit Ctrl I to invert the curves, and then again use brush tool, take white palette, then paint around the parts like cheeks, teeth and other parts. Again you can lower the opacity to your need and I'll make it look better. After we are done with the highlighting and shading, we can then move to correcting the skin tone. Particularly in this thumbnail, the head already have a good skin tone, but we can still make it better by using color balance. Color balance is very easy to use. Just tweak these three properties until you get the desired results, or at least that's what I do. Just remember not to overdo it or your subject will look horrible. Now I'm done with the shading and lighting. Next I'll take levels and do some tweaking to match overall contrast of the subject. Not very necessary, but it's just my preference. Just mess up with those properties until you feel right. Again note down that you have to do minor tweaking since they drastically affect the contrast of the image. Even after all these changes, the head still feels realistic when compared to the body. To solve this, we'll use camera raw filters to tweak the texture of the head. I'll go to Details tab and tweak changes in the sharpening and noise reduction. Then I'll go to the Effects tab and tweak changes in texture and clarity, and this will make the head stand out more. Now that I'm done with improving the texture, I will next work on smoothing the skin of the head. For this, I'll use Mixed Brush tool, select the color of the skin by clicking Alt and then copy my brush settings. Now make sure you brush the skin nicely in the right direction. Do not brush however you like. Focus on the area where you will see the skin pores, stains, marks, whichever doesn't look good. Take extra care and time to get the desired output. Now we move on from this phase to glow phase. To give the subject a background glow, first create an adjustment layer behind the subject. Take the brush tool and select any color of your choice. Here I'll take a light shade of orange. Change the blending mode of the layer to linear dodge or linear dodge add. Increase or decrease the size of the brush and start to tap around the character to give a nice glow. If you think the glow stands out too much, then lower the opacity of the layer. After background glow, we will give the subject an edge glow as well. For that, create an adjustment layer on the top of the subject layer and clip it. Again, choose the color of your liking, change the blend mode and start to brush around the edges of the subject like I did. Now if you'd like to create some smoke, then just do the same again. Create an adjustment layer on the top of the subject, choose the color and change the blending mode. As for the brush, you would need a different kind of brush. You can search for smoke brush on YouTube or internet. You can visit my Discord server and get the brush directly without any problems. To create smoke, simply adjust the brush size and sweep or tap like I did. This will give the thumbnail a nice look. I wish to add some elements to fill the empty spaces in the thumbnail. For that, I already rendered a PNG image of crescent blade in Blender. I'll import into Photoshop, scale and rotate accordingly, and hold Ctrl while selecting and dragging the corners to change the perspective. I'll add motion blur to the blades since they are moving in the air. To do that, go to Filters tab and select motion blur and adjust the settings. After you are done with that, you can duplicate it multiple times and place them in other parts. Make sure you change their perspective to make each look unique. To create depth in the thumbnail, I'll again import the crescent blade, scale it and place it in the bottom corner. For the blur, we will use Gaussian blur. For this, go to Filters tab and select Gaussian blur. Adjust the amount to your needs. You can use it multiple times if you like, but for this thumbnail, I'll go with 2 depth objects. I would also like to give a light amount of Gaussian blur to the background layer. Do the same step for the background to have the same effect. This is entirely optional, but I would like to give a speedline effect to the thumbnail. I already have a speedline PNG, so I'll just import that into project and scale it up to my liking. Now for the last step, which is giving our masterpiece some nice colors. For that, I'll create a new copy of the thumbnail by using Ctrl Alt Shift and E. Then I'll convert this layer as a smart object, then head to Filters tab and open Camera Raw Filters. We don't need an explanation here, so you can just follow me to have the idea. Each thumbnail ad has to be colored differently, so don't stick on to my settings. After all this process, we finally finished our thumbnail, and as you can see, it really looks great. Before going, I would like to apologize for the delay in my posting and also for changing my channel, because I had my own reasons to do so. But anyways, since I'm back, I'll bring bright and awesome tutorials for you guys in future. So make sure you subscribe. If you liked this video, then please hit the like button and also hype so that my video reaches more people. This was it for this video. Thanks for being here till the end. Akira out.